So I suppose you know what true crime is. However, for the ones that don't, here it is. True crime, a genre of book, film, podcast, and other source of entertainment that examines or narrates a real crime. Now that we have the term clear, let's continue. So I'm personally a huge true crime fan. I enjoy blood and murder and all of those stuff. However, some years ago, I was watching a true crime documentary on the murder of multiple young women, committed by a famous serial killer named Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. In his crimes, he would murder young women at night in their bedrooms, leaving a gruesome scene for their families and friends to find the morning after. After watching this documentary, I got really paranoid and scared, to the point where I couldn't go out of my house, be in it alone, or just live my daily basis. So it got me thinking, how many people that watch true crime like me have felt the way I did? So I started and I conducted an AP research, on my AP research class, on the effects of true crime on the international school community's mental health. I interviewed a bunch of my peers who are also fans of true crime, and I got their perspective on the topic. Of course, it was a long process of survey, interviews, data analysis, etc. However, I won't go through all that for you guys. When I interviewed my peers, I asked them if they have had any bad experiences while consuming true crime, which their answer was yes. One said, some cases, like the Night Stalker, the Cecil Hotel, and Jack the Ripper, caused them paranoia and they could not sleep at night. Another one said, yeah, some cases where there is brutal murder and decapitation and stuff like that would cause them to be really scared. However, when I asked them if they have had any positive effects after consuming true crime, their answer was also yes. They said they enjoy the idea of knowing what happened on psychopath brains. They also enjoy just the whole narration point, and just consuming true crime made them really happy. So, while true crime can give you negative impacts, people still consumed it due to the momentary dopamine that they got from it. When being asked why did they thought this was the case of getting positive and negative effects out of the same gruesome content, a lot of their answers were because of sensationalism. So I started to interview adults to see their perspective on sensationalism, which I realized that adults and adolescents have way different moods towards this, different attitudes. While adolescents were more enthusiastic on learning and talking and being able to give me their insights, adults were more calm, less enthusiastic about it. So, what was the problem? Which leads me to my question. To what extent has sensationalism impacted the genre of true crime? Well, first of all, let's start with the most popular one. The sensitization to violence. After consuming a lot of this crime, a lot of people seem to not have a lot of response, or they're more propensous to consume worse content. The next one would be a twisted perception of reality or romanticization. A lot of people feel like they could be victims, or when is their time to get murdered, or when is their time to be dead. Other people go through a more extreme of romanticizing serial killers. Some people say that killing Ted Bundy was too harsh of a punishment for what he did. Others think that he was so handsome. Why would people kill him? And of course, they would have also gotten into his car. Other people from current generations make edits out of these killers. This is a Night Stalker. They think they're so handsome and good looking. But why are people giving these opinions? Next effect would be stereotyping countries. For example, 66.2% of the world's serial killers come from the US, followed by Russia, the UK, and Japan. Next one, the world's most dangerous serial killer with the most victims in the world is Pedro Lopez, with a count of over 300 victims. mainly committed in countries like Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru. This caused people to be really scared of the countries they go, not sending their child there or being terrified that something will happen to them. However, not acknowledging that this is a rare case. This does not happen to everyone. Last one being fear and anxiety. It's not just the parents about the countries, it's just you in general. After consuming a lot of true crime, binge watching it mainly, it causes you to be paranoid, as we said in the start. It causes you to be really scared of when is your time to die. If parents kill their children, if neighbors kill their other neighbors, it's like when it will be next. However, true crime is not so bad. There's positive effects. As a person that stopped watching it after some time, I realized that it can increase awareness. After asking my peers what was their biggest positive effect of while consuming true crime, they said awareness. They were more aware of the people they hanged out with, how they acted with people, who to talk to and who not. So, the next one will be ethics. A lot of people decide to sympathize with the victims after watching true crime. They realize their morals, what's right and wrong, what's good, what not to do. And just being able to comfort others. Our other good thing, which is personally a big one, is community. I've personally met a bunch of wonderful people in ASB who also enjoys true crime and love it, but they're not psychopaths and they're not bad people. They just enjoy the content as much as I do. So the question is true crime really that bad? Should people stop consuming it, and should platforms like Netflix stop providing it to people? Or should people just mind it on their own and know how much you watch and be aware of your own consequences? Thank you.